So when you say, I believe I should go along with this, or I should give this my attention because after all it is true, we say, if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would use something other than the truth of it or the manifestation of it in some form as your criteria for focusing on it. We would be picky. We would choose to focus upon those true things that feel good when we focus upon them. Because whatever you focus upon, if you do it long enough, you will make it your truth. It will manifest into your experience. Law of attraction says that it must. In fact, law of attraction, which says that which is likened to itself is drawn, is the reason that when you set your radio dial on 6:30 a.m., you hear what's being broadcast on that frequency. It's the reason that when you set your radio dial at 6:30 a.m., you don't hear what's being broadcast on 98 FM. The frequencies have to match up. And so when you are giving your attention to something and you do it long enough, you train yourself into the frequency of it. And as you do that, law of attraction then brings you more things that match that frequency. Diseases that match that frequency. Abundance or lack of it that matches that frequency. People, driving conditions, even mechanical things will acquiesce to the frequency that you've got going about mechanical things. You ever heard anyone say, I have a green thumb, I'm good with plants? They've adjusted their frequency. They're sensitive to what the plant needs and willing to give it to it. Often with you, there is a vibrational difference between where you are right now with not enough money or with a disease or with a foot that's hurting or with somebody that doesn't love you, your action journey where you are right now. Often there is a discrepancy, a vibrational variance between where you are and where you now want to be. And how did you now discover or discern where you want to be? The variety of your experience helped you to focus it out. And as you launched the rocket, we call that your asking, Source answered it immediately and became one with your rocket. So now there are two vibrations within you that you can discern the relativity between them. Are you getting the sense of this? As Jerry and Esther are traveling from Phoenix to San Diego, they want to be in San Diego. They can hardly wait to get there. It's 70 degrees and sunny in San Diego, always in the time that they go. All of their favorite restaurants are there. They have favorite place that they put their monster buses there. They can hardly wait to get there. And so as they are traveling across the desert, 400 miles, for most of those 400 miles, they're not where they want to be. But they do not lose heart because their journey is understandable. They know it's 400 miles from Phoenix to San Diego. They know they got to go west. They know if they keep a reasonable speed and keep on going that they're going to get there. So they don't get to the 200-mile marker or thereabouts in Yuma and get all discouraged because they're not yet in San Diego and get disoriented and turn around and go back to Phoenix. They get this journey. It's easy to know where you are when you've got maps and road signs and a directional compass and a navigational system. In other words, that journey is understandable. So even though plenty of miles pass before they're at the place they want to be, they're happy along the way because they know they're getting to where they want to be. We see you sometimes in your Phoenix in relationship to this analogy of not enough money or someone who doesn't love you or a body that's hurting or been diagnosed as sick. And we see you well along your way to recovery, well along your way to wellness. But then somewhere along the way you get discouraged and you stop and take score and you say, I'm not there yet. And you turn right around and go back to Phoenix. Because the journey between not enough money and enough money, or a body that's sick and a body that's well, is not as understandable to most of you. And yet, it should be, and it can be, if you get the vibrational relativity between how you feel and how you want to feel, or where you are and where you want to be. So, if your source has joined you in your idea of this thing you want, and if you are beating the drum of the absence of it, you're going to feel the vibrational discord. That's what negative emotion is. When you really want something and you're really thinking about having it, that passion you feel, that enthusiasm you feel, means that you and your inner being and your desire are all in vibrational alignment, and you are well along your way to it. But you know what trips you up? 99 plus, more than 99%, 99.999999% of every creation is complete before you see any physical evidence of it. So you are often well along your way to what you want, but then you stop and look for the physical evidence which hasn't appeared yet, and then you count yourself as a failure, or you begin to feel that discouragement, or you beat the drum of where is it? I've been at this long enough. How come I don't have it? How come they've got it? How come I'm suffering in the absence of what I want for so long? And you turn right around, you focus upon the opposite of what you want, and the more you do that, the worse you feel, and the worse you feel, the more you do that. In other words, you do it because you have not yet come into vibrational awareness of your emotional guidance system. So you're not quantifying your journeys. And you gotta quantify your journeys. You just gotta come back around to what you knew when you were born, is that if you're feeling good, you're on your path. And if you're not feeling good, please return to the highlighted route. Please return to the highlighted route. Well, how do I know what the highlighted route is? It feels good over there. The highlighted route feels good. It feels like interest. It feels like anticipation. It feels like appreciation. It feels good. It feels like love. It feels like enthusiasm. It feels like passion. How do I know when I'm not on the highlighted route? How do I know when I'm choosing to beat the drum of something and activate a vibration within me that's different from my desire and from my source that is in partnership with my desire? I don't feel good. I feel ornery. I feel irritated. I feel fearful. I feel angry. I feel discouraged. I feel depressed. Negative emotion always means the same thing. And the degree of negative emotion means there is a big difference between something you really, 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 really want and where you are. If it's mild negative emotion, you're not so far off your path. If it's strong negative emotion, you're on your way back to Phoenix. But there's another factor there. The degree to which you want it. In other words, as you move through your life experience, you launch endless rockets of desires. And those rockets of desires are vibrationally attracting unto themselves and gaining momentum with every rocket that you amend it with. Every time somebody's rude to you, you amend your rocket of wanting to be treated nicer. Every time you can't afford something you want, you amend your rocket about the money that you want. So over time, you get a very significant rocket of desire over here. We like to say to you that it is your future experience being held for you in vibrational escrow. In other words, it's yours. It's there for you. Your inner being agrees that it's yours. Your inner being is aware of where you are in relationship to it. And if you will tune in to the vibrational relativity between where you are and where you want to be, and you will make a decision that you will, from where you stand, do your very best to find the best feeling thought that you can find about this, you'll get back on your path. Now, one of the reasons that so many of you don't easily get back on your path is because you have, bless your hearts, been attempting the impossible. Bless your hearts. Did we say bless your hearts? You've been trying to do something that law of attraction will not assist you or even allow you to do. When you feel awful, you can't jump to joy. The vibrational frequencies are too far apart. You can't make that jump. You could change the subject maybe and find a much better feeling vibration. But if you're on the subject of a body that is sick and you're really discouraged about it, and you have a friend, a student of Abraham or some magnificent creator, and that person announces to you, you know, you need to cheer up. You create your own reality. You want to say to them, that can't be true or you'd be gone. Because nothing is more irritating than to be in a place you don't want to be and have somebody who is in a place that you want to be point out to you that you're not in the place that you want to be, and then rub it in by pointing out to you that you're the one that put yourself there. Of course you are. You are the one that put yourself there, but you're not going to jump out of it just because somebody says you should. And you're not going to jump out of it just because you want to. You're going to jump out of it one little jump at a time, because you cannot quantum leap from despair or fear or that kind of heavy-duty discouragement into joy. It's too big of a leap, any more than you can set your radio tuner on 6:30 a.m. and hear what's being broadcast on 98 FM. It's not going to happen. You've got to move your dial. We want to say to you that it would be so much easier for you if you could see yourself and where you are as the action journey, so to speak. In other words, where I am right now in relationship to my checkbook, in relationship to my significant others, in relationship to my work, in relationship to my body in terms of vitality, in relationship to my clarity, where you stand right now in relationship to everything is just the sort of sum of what you've come to with your mix of vibrations. That's all. It's what you've practiced yourself to be so far. But right along with that, how it is right now, or what is a vibrational acknowledgement. So the easiest way for you to hear this, we like to say you've got two concurrent journeys run along here. There's what is right now, and there's how I feel about what is right now. The difference between fearful and hopeful is the difference between recovery or not. The difference between worried about money and hopeful about money is the difference between money starting to come to you or not. You can't look at what is and move from that place because what is full of itself. You got to start talking closer to where you want to be and further from what is if you don't like what is. If you like what is, then talk about what is. When you say, I should give this my attention because it's true, what you're saying is somebody else focused upon that thing they did not want, and they did it long enough that they activated it in their vibration long enough that they created it as their reality. And because they have created that unwanted thing, I should too. And we say, we see no logical logic in that. That sounds like someone who is focusing all over the place without paying attention to how they feel. That sounds like someone who doesn't trust their own ability to focus or choose. That sounds like someone who somebody else has convinced you should not be so selfish and follow your desires. You should do this and this and this. And what they're not telling you, it's written between the lines, is don't be selfish and follow your heart. Be unselfish and follow my selfish heart. And we understand how they get there. There are a lot of people who want to feel good, and when they look out into the world and they see this, they feel good. So they want to promote more of that. And when they look out into the world and they see this, they feel bad because they don't want that, and they want to push that away. And there are so many people who do not understand about their vibrational nature, who do not understand about law of attraction, who are still in the most backward, archaic, awkward way imaginable, trying to control the conditions of their time-space reality. They say, under these conditions, I feel bad, so let's change those positions. Let's write laws against it, and let's get people to enforce those laws. And if they won't listen, we'll just drop bombs on them until they're no longer a problem. In other words, we will find a way to control the conditions so that we never need look into a place where there is something we don't want to see. And we say, you did not come forth into this environment to limit it. That would be like a chef in a well-stocked kitchen. You have some lovely little pie you want to make, and you look around and there are so many ingredients. I would not put Tabasco sauce in my pie, you say. Throw it out of the kitchen. I would not put anchovies in my pie, you say. Throw it out of the kitchen. And we say, why does it need to be thrown out of the kitchen? Just don't put it in your pie. But when you decide that it's your job to start throwing the unwanted stuff out of the kitchen, it all gets in your pie. Because you cannot touch it. You cannot focus upon it without activating the vibration of it. And once you've activated the vibration of it, it's going to get in your pie. And the more it gets in your pie, the more you resent them because they were the ones that brought it to the kitchen. Esther watches the television from time to time, even the Weather Channel the other night. It was full of all of those commercials offering all of that stuff. And it wouldn't be so bad that they're offering the stuff to cure your ailments. But it's all that stuff they say afterward. These are the symptoms that you've probably got, which is why you need this stuff, and these are the side effects that you'll probably get if you use this stuff. And you don't have to watch very much of that before you start feeling enormously vulnerable in your body. You're a veritable disease factory walking around, according to the commercials. And what we're wanting you to understand is that you cannot push away from you anything that you do not want, because this is a universe that is based on attraction. This is an inclusion-based universe, which means there's no exclusion.